Hello, my name is Matt, and today I'm going to be working on some sculpture. I'm going to try to do my best to do everything on camera and as it is done. Sculpting today, I am using one of these stones here. I have a quartzite and some tight grain sandstones here, and I will be doing just some kind of odd carving. I haven't even made up my mind which yet, and I guess we'll wait to see what it is in the thumbnail. Whenever you are carving, you want to keep a couple things in mind. Safety is first thing. I always use some type of a dust mask. The dust that comes out of these stones, it has a silica in it, and it's not good to breathe in. So you want to make sure you have a dust mask or a respirator of some type so that this stuff does not get into your lungs. Secondly, you want to make sure that you have some type of safety glasses or eye protection of some sort. Most of the time, I just use my standard beat-up old reading glasses. They do have other glasses you can buy elsewhere. As far as tools go, I've got pencils, permanent markers. I use a standard rotary tool and diamond blades. So I'm going to try and get started here. I'm going to carve this on camera as much as possible. There will be some instances where I speed up the footage or just skip ahead. I'm going to try and do my best to show everything step by step. And with that, let's get started. So just randomly looking at these stones, I kind of want to pick something that's going to give me a decent little carving, but I want it to be wearable. So something small like this piece of quartzite. I'm going to wet it just to give me a better look at the texture. This little piece of quartzite, that's something I could carve something small into, some kind of intricate designs or anything not too big, but I can't go too elaborate. I have some pieces of mine that are extremely elaborate, require a larger stone. They're a much heavier piece to wear. This right here would be a very nice one. I just clean up and put something simple carved into it. As for these other stones here, this one has some nice pink tones. It's a little difficult to see, but it has some nice pink tones to it. As well as this creamy color. So I may end up using something like that if I want to have different colors throughout my stone. So that's something else I can keep in mind. That's also very small. Then I have these plain, simple sandstone. I like the shape of all these. You can just do just about anything to them. This one here is a nice rounded piece. I found all these on the shore of Lake Ontario, and just wetting them can give you a better idea if there's anything, any imperfections or any spots such as this one here, within the stone. You can't see that when it's dry, but when it's wet, it shows up. And I'll do that to all these stones here. Let's wet it and see. Well, it's got some nice color to it too. This one has some interesting striation to it there. So I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and choose this more rounder one here. It's got enough heft to it where I can get some good carving and some decent textures into it. It's thick enough that I can feel comfortable putting a deep cut into it without going all the way through the stone right away. Just got to figure out by looking at it what the stone is telling me that it wants to be. Now, I know that's kind of silly, but sometimes you can just look at a stone and kind of feel that something belongs there. Something should be carved there. This stone here, I almost see some type of a happy grinning face or something. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dry this off a little bit. It's not perfectly dry. And I want to find, I got an idea for a face, a grinning face. So I want to find the way I want to design this here. So I'm thinking this is going to be my bottom side here, and this will be the top. And I'm just going to draw a little face on here and see if it's something I like. Kind of go with what the stone is telling me. And it's a very nice, smooth stone. So I think it's going to be a nice, smooth, happy face. Now, of course, I don't want to do just your simple, basic, happy face there. That's probably copyrighted by somebody somewhere. But I do want to do, I'll go a little bit cartoonish on this one. And let's see what we can do here. Not so sure I like the angle of this mouth. So just using an eraser off the back of my pencil. It doesn't matter if I don't get it all off, because it will be cleaned off with the rotary tool and diamond blades anyway. As long as I get enough to where I can figure out what I want on this stone. So maybe I want to go a little bit more tribal instead of cartoonish. Let's see here. So if I'm deciding to go tribal, everything's going to be a little bit blockier. And let's see if I can start out. I'm just going to give it a general shape of a nose there. Now this drawing is not going to be perfect, and it may not even stay this way after I start carving. But we're going to go with a little bit of a blockier, more exaggerated type smile. And for the eyes, let's see how I want to do them. I'm going to put as a basic shape of the eyes in here. Now, I could leave them like this and have this stone looking like it's laughing with its eyes closed, which that's pretty interesting, I think. We might end up doing that. But curve the bottom of the nose here just a little bit. And erase some of this extra lines there. And since we're laughing, let's make some eyebrow lines that are a little higher up. Maybe a slight wrinkle in the forehead. I don't really want to show any teeth on this one, so I'm not going to put in that detail. But I'm just going to kind of hash mark out the mouth so I know to carve it deeper. I'm not worried about putting any ears or anything like this. We're going to keep this one kind of simple today. So here is our general shape and basic drawing to get us started. Now, like I said, this will most likely change by the end of the video. Who knows? Maybe it'll be go from being a smiling tribalistic face to something else. But right now, this is the idea I have in my head. This is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to clear off these other stones that I have here. And make sure I got my workspace clear of anything that can get hurt or damaged. I don't want anything getting caught up in my rotary blades. Also, I use this is an old cutting board, and I've been using this for years for sculpting and carving on. So I want to make sure that any work that I do stays on this and I don't dig through it into my workbench here. Also have my worktops covered with a cloth here so I can have things be a little bit softer underneath here. It just allows more comfort for my hands when I'm resting here. Carving like this can be a little bit unusual for me, sometimes just a little bit difficult. I do have a condition that makes my hands tremble sometimes, and it's hard to keep everything steady. So I do the best I can with what I got. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get some blades set aside and put on my rotary tool and get started. Okay, so despite the way it looks due to the drawing, I'm not actually going to just engrave this into the stone. I'm actually going to carve away the stone around and then make the features more prominent and three-dimensional. So this is why I say it may take on a different form, and this is just a general idea of what I want to see on the stone. So go ahead and put my mask on. And we'll go ahead and get this carved. Okay, so this is going to take a little while, and any interest of time on the video, I'm going to go ahead and speed things up just a bit. think that I don't think that looks too bad. With the smiling face tribal, I actually think it came out pretty much as I expected. Now, I just need to put a hole in the top and then attach it to some wire. Either that or just straight up wrap it in wire. We'll figure it out. I have decided that I'm going to use a little bit of wire on this. I'm going to be wrapping this with some wire around the outside. However, I don't want to not show the face. I want to make sure that I'm not covering up the actual project itself, and that the wire is there as a slight accent and an aid in the making of the pendant. So there's a couple of ways I can do that. The way I'm choosing today is I'm going to put a small groove along the sides of my sculpture, and that way the wire will fit into that, and then I'm going to come off the top with a bail. So now that I've let you know all that, I'm going to go ahead and get carving. I will see you when the carving is done. Okay, so I have put a groove all the way around, and other than the top part here, everything is pretty much a uniform depth. Got a little bit narrower on the top, but that's okay. And there we go. Now, just to decide what type of wire is going to be best for this little guy. This one, I am using, I believe it's 18 gauge, and it is dead soft, and it is a antiqued bronze color. So, just grab my flush cut pliers. Now I just randomly pulled off some wire here, and this is a coated wire. Not too expensive. You can get this through several places online. Okay, so with the groove now complete and the camera moved so I can make this a little bit easier, I'm going to take my wire, and first things first, I'm going to work on the end that I want to have the bail on, and I want to make sure that I have the proper size. So in order to do that, I have bail making pliers, and I'm going to make this kind of a larger bail. Probably going to use, well, I might as well just use the largest size right there. First thing I'm going to do is take my chain nose, and I'm going to put a little bit of a bend in my wire. And using my bail making pliers, I'm going to wrap that right around. Make sure that that's nice and tight there. And then I'm going to take and wrap my end a few times. Okay. tighten it up. Sometimes you can just squeeze it together with your pliers. Make sure that end is nice and tight. I'm going to take my flush cuts and trim that off. Take my chain nose pliers and bend that together with my chain nose pliers. And feel if I have any burrs. It feels like we're tiny little burr there. And I'll clean that up with my file. Straighten this up here. So there's the bail. And I want to make sure that this piece is going to end up center on the head. So a little bit of a bend there. And I'm going to fit the wire into the groove. Okay, so positioning the wire center of the head and wrapping that wire into that groove that I made. Give myself just a little bit here. And now twisting it around, making sure my wire is in the groove. Nice and tight. Flush cut pliers, trim it off. Again, make sure everything is in that groove, nice and tight. And there we go. That is now one completed piece. It just needs a necklace, chain, or rope to make the completed pendant. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day.